Willie, and Willie's a fine little fella. But Willie is an accident looking for a place to happen. And this is his back steps on the houseboat. I'm going to try to keep this from being the place where the accident happens.
Because these handrails are raked so far back, it's going to be hard to attach a gate to them. So what I'm planning on doing is putting a vertical aluminum post. I'll fix it to the floor, and I'll fix it to the top and put one on each side, and then after that, then I can measure up, just make a rectangular gate. I marked of the 4 posts I want to put, 3 of them are different, so I got them marked on these little scraps of wood. This handrail is amazingly strong for aluminum handrail, so the strength is not an issue. It's because it's leaning back, it's going to be a challenge, so I'm going to add the posts. Back at the shop, I don't have any square aluminum stock, but I have these old bronze stanchions from an old Grand Banks that we took apart. So I don't know how this is going to fly with the other owners, not being aluminum, but I'm going to cut a pair and fit them and see how they look in place. I don't think they'll look that bad being a different metal. Just wanted to do a test fit of these things before I got too far, but I think they're going to be fine. I've backpedaled a little bit on the gate. I cut these stanchions to use, but I just couldn't figure out, or wasn't comfortable. I didn't have the aluminum to make the gate part. I don't want to make it out of bronze. If I made it out of aluminum, I'm not sure what I'd put in the middle to keep, to seal up the middle part. So I'm going to go back to my old standby. I make them out of wood. I have these base plates, which was what I cut off the top of these. And this is Yacal, Y-A-C-A-L wood. It's about rot resistant as it comes. And it's very strong. And I have a good bit of scraps from a boat I cut up a while back. So I've got my 2 stanchions. And I'm going to make a little gate that will be 17.5 wide and 22 inches tall. And we'll see how that works. I got the 4 gate sides glued up. Each one is glued up of two layers. Make a simple lap joint. And my plan was to, before I glue these up, to cut a slot in one of them for the little filler screen that I could slide in there, and before I glued it together, kind of act like a plywood center for a cabinet door. And that was the plan, and it didn't happen. And I would explain it if I could, but I can't. So I guess we'll cut a slot after the fact on the table saw, and it'll be a little fatter than I need, but we can do that.
After the glue was set, basic carpentry here, I jointed the edges. I ran through a thickness planer, got them all the same size. And then with the router, I routed the inside edges because I needed to do that before I glued it together with the screen inserted. And in order to insert the screen, I ran a little groove around the interior with the table saw before it was glued up.
I had a DeWalt one of these for many years, little small router, and it finally died, and I just bought this Makita, and this is a much better tool as far as I'm concerned. This one's smoother, quieter, the switch is much more convenient, better tool. If you going to use this expanded metal for the fill on the inside of the gate. And it's painted steel, which is not the best for a boat, but I figure if I can paint it well and it'll last 4 years, by then all the little ones will be big enough where they won't have to have a gate. I checked the end. This is a factory end and it's way out of square, so I'm glad I checked and didn't just measure off of it. So I got to cut both ends and one side. I bought this new grinder today, and it's a wussy grinder. It doesn't have much power. But the reason I bought it is because it has the switch where I like it, and it locks. All the Manly grinders, it's an OSHA thing, the switch won't lock. And they put it back here at the back where you almost have to use 2 hands to hold the grinder, but I like to hold my grinder with 1 hand, my one shaky hand. So I bought the wussy grinder. Let's see if it lasts a year or so. Okay, I have a dry fit up. Everything's good. It's square. Time to get out the epoxy for its gap filling abilities and make a mess. We're going to glue it with epoxy. With the rabbit bit in the router, I cut a little rabbit on the stop side of the gate, not the hinge side, and I cut a matching rabbit in the gate on the stop side, and I let in a little piece of wood and glued it in. So this will be the stop. This will be the gate. This will hold the gate in a closed position. I'll have to get some sort of latch. But I've got these 3 things cleaned up and sanded well, and I'm going to prime them with epoxy paint this morning. So the little gate is painted, and I hate this paint. It's supposed to be aluminum colored enamel, but it's that metallic-y stuff. So I got to put another coat on it. But I got a hinge on it, and it's at the boat. And we're going to install it today and try to make it all work. And I forgot my clamps, dang it. Okay, the gate is installed. It was a little tricky because I didn't have really a reference thing to go by. And if you move any one point, just a 1/16 of an inch, it doesn't fit right anymore. But it looks good. I don't have a latch yet. I'm going to take it all apart now and put sealant between all the parts, and especially where the screws go through the deck. And I'll bring some real paint next time. I don't think this metallic paint, I don't consider it real paint. And I put a little piece of fiberglass on each end. Make sure nobody got smart and tried to short circuit the gate. Okay, the Willie gate, with the exception of a latch, is complete. Works really well. Folds totally out the way. The addition of these 2 verticals is not an impediment to anything. They fit in there real nice. I really lucked out on the hardware. I found this at McMaster Car. It's 3/16 stainless steel. It fits, and it has a safety latch, so you can't unlatch it unless you push this and this at the same time. And hopefully by the time the little ones figure that out, they'll be old enough where we don't need to worry about them. McMaster Car, the best supply company in the world for hardware and things like that. Check them out.